Alright, so the plan for today is what we're getting ready to be doing is we're going to restore this Super Pac-Man unit, limited edition from Costco's. Now there's one thing that this one was supposed to come with, and that's the blue LED backlighting on the back. So when I picked this one up, it actually didn't have that blue lighting. I'm not really too worried about that for the most part, because we're getting ready to do something real quick to make that look a little bit better anyway. But what we are getting ready to do is going ahead and upgrade these buttons right here. And I'm going to show you a nice little good quick kit that we got. We're going to replace these. What I'm actually going to be replacing with is going to be some LED buttons and also an LED stick. I'm going to give you the name of the actual seller that I got those from. It's going to be a pretty quick, simple upgrade. I'm going to take out those 4 screws right here, disconnect the board, and after we disconnect the board, go ahead and replace those buttons right there. Shouldn't be too hard. It's going to be the first one I'm doing on an arcade one up like this, so let's see if we can get it looking a little bit better than what we have right currently. So like I was saying, this first part right here is going to be pretty simple. So now that we've actually popped out those 4 screws right there, the next thing we're going to do is go on ahead and take off the control deck. While we got this right here in our hand, what we're going to do next is I'm going to grab my deck plate and I'm going to move this to the side. You'll see that after you remove that, it's just the one connection from the back that you're going to want to take out to go on ahead and remove that control panel. So now we actually have the deck plate out. What I like to do is go on ahead and unscrew this top, since we're going to be taking it out anyway. I'm going to carefully take off deck plate. It's already dirty anyway, so we're going to have to clean this. No big deal. I'm going to take this and set it to the side. So now I'm going to take this and flip it over. And now we're going to see again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to go ahead and take those screws off next so we can get on the inside of this. So now we got all that taken out. Let's go ahead and lift this. Set it to the side. And now we have the access to all the buttons and everything that we're trying to go ahead and replace right now. So these right here, it's going to be our new products that we're working with. This is going to be our buttons from EG Starts. These are going to be the LED buttons that I'm going to be deciding to go with. Only thing about these buttons right here is that they actually are going to have 4 connections on the back of them versus the 2 connections that's on the normal arcade 1-up machines. So all I'm going to have to wind up doing is just bridging the positive to positive, negative to negative, seeing if we terminate the connection like that, if that's going to work, or if it's going to cause some kind of damage to this control. So you're going to find out with me right now if that works. So those are our buttons from EG Starts. So the next thing we're actually getting ready to do is take out the buttons. It's important that you remember which one is negative and which one is positive if you're going to be using your same board. So I'm going to do actually one button at a time. It's going to be pretty simple on how you do it. You're going to have a couple tabs, pop them in right there. And once that's done, the button's pretty much going to pop out. Just so I'm not getting confused, I'm going to disconnect my negative plugs first. Now I know these are each just a negative plug, so I'm going to take this through now, and then I'm going to disconnect my positives. So now we have the positive from the old button. I'm going to pop that off while it's still down there. And I'm going to go on ahead and connect it now. Therefore I know for sure that's my positive connection on that button. I'm going to go ahead and do the same with this one right here. Okay, now this is something I was actually hoping I wasn't going to have to do, but I wound up having to do it anyway. So when I pop this one out right here, I'm going to show you something. You see I already got those two in. Now I'm going to pop this one out. I'm going to pop it out. So now when I pop this one out, the problem that we're getting ready to run into is that my new buttons are way bigger than these right here. So when I go to put in my anchor to hold it down, it doesn't fit. So I'm gonna show you what we wind up having to do. So at that point, pretty much once you have everything drilled out, all you're gonna do is just go ahead and grab this anchor, slap her in like that, take your button, and your button will just actually screw in the rest of the way. So we got 3 of them in so far. I'm just gonna replace these last 2 real quick and work on our joystick next. Alright, so while I haven't seen too many people talk about this for the most part, I keep hearing everyone say that there's no way to power all your LED lights or nothing like that unless you use an external power supply. So this is gonna be an experiment. What I did was, from my LED marquee, I went on ahead and I spliced into these wires right here. That's your positive and that's your negative right there. And this is getting ready to plug to the light switch section right there on the back of your arcade one-up. And it also has its own on and off switch right there also. So what we're getting ready to do is connect those LED lights on that controller board, splice them in with that. My warranty's already going on this anyway, been gone, long gone. So we're gonna see if that works, see if we can light these buttons up. All right, check it out. So here we go. We got all the buttons wired up right now so far. Everything's wired up to the original connections except for the LED lights. You'll notice that I have them pigtailed. All the positives going in, and I have all the negatives pigtailed all to each other for the most part right there. I'm gonna make these look a little bit more prettier. But again, this is just a little basic experiment, something I'm trying to do to make this machine look a little bit more prettier. So I'm gonna go downstairs and move it up and just test these lights, plug them up to somewhere a little bit different to show you what I'm getting ready to do and see if it'll work. So here's the board. We got all of our new buttons in there, everything wired, ready to go. Taped everything down just a little bit better. I'm gonna go back in here again later on eventually. I did actually also attempt to disconnect their button and actually pull everything out of the inside to see if maybe I'd actually be able to just wind up putting those LED buttons in the same socket, just because I like to toy around with stuff like that, but it wasn't something that was going to work out. Still going to have some extra buttons for any of my other arcade one-up machines, because these are still good buttons right there. So we're just going to just screw this back down now, plug her up, see if she works. We're going to leave our cord for our power supply going out the back, 2 splice cables right there. I'm going to have that tucked out going through the front of the controller board. So let's go ahead and screw this back down now. Also, before we run down here to go put this all back together, I just wanted to show you something real quick that I always do, and I know I'm not the only person that does this. I forgot to take off the clear plastic from the other side of my deck plate, so I cleaned it off for the most part. I'm gonna have to clean it again. But yeah, so I know I'm sure if any of y'all out there have done that like me, but make sure you take the plastic off of both sides of your deck plate cover. I know no one as dumb as me is gonna do something like that, but just want to point that out. So we're back at the unit now. I'm gonna take this girl and throw her back in there, see if everything works right the way it's supposed to. Take our spliced ends, drop that back. So now we're back on the back of the panel, on the inside of the unit. This is that cable that I fed through on the inside. This is going to be my negative, and this is going to be my positive right there. This is going to be the adapter that actually connects the LED marquee. I spliced out, it's my positive right there. This is going to be my negative. So I'm just going to take these right here from the LED light switch and go on to that, and hope that's going to make these lights work. Something pretty simple, not major. Just a little basic tie knot. Something be 100% recommended by a normal electrician, but this is what I'm getting ready to do. So in the end, something pretty similar to what you're looking at right there. It's not the 100% best, it's just giving you the basic concept. So if you want to try it, try it. If you don't want to try it, you don't have to. But what this does right here is this gives you the option to have LED buttons, LED back strip, any LEDs on your actual unit by just using your normal on and off switch from your arcade one-up system, plugging it up to the standard box. So I'm going to plug this one up right here. right back up to the box just like that. I'm going to turn around and see if she works. So if you see any other videos on my page, you'll know that I pretty much like to put light strips or LEDs on just about anything. So one thing that this unit didn't come with also that I was supposed to have was the blue LED strips that go down each side of the unit. So I'm also getting ready to do is while I'm back here wiring this up is I'm going to get these LED strips right here. You find these at Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Ross, pretty much any store. I'm going to take these, run them down the back so I get that blue light back onto the unit. Could have did it better. What you think? They were on there. So we got everything back in. I went ahead and just, like I said, kept that old control knob back in there because I goobered that whole other one up. That's my fault. So all the LED buttons are in. We got them ready to go. Everything is connected to the internal power. So we're going to turn it on real quick and see if everything really works. Let's cross our fingers. There we go. Like I was saying before, I also got the LED lights also going on the back. I could have put it better right there, so it's coming up a little bit, but we'll go on ahead and fix that. You don't see it till you get back in there. It's not too much of a big deal. Like I was saying before, I also got the LED lights also going on the back. I could have put it better right there, so it's coming up a little bit, but we'll go on ahead and fix that. You don't see it till you get back in there. It's not too much of a big deal. Turn the lights off real quick. Just the kind of view she looks like. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, it's just a little quick video just to show you how you can actually add your LED lights to your board without having to do any kind of external power supply. So if you got a LED marquee light and you're trying to figure out how to make it to where you can turn it on and off with your machine, that's also how you can do that right there. Just a quick tip.